I feel like this is the first time I've covered some drama that happened on Tumblr about an art callout, so let's get into this. So we have this post by Sunday Elliott, and Sunday writes, crashing out because a friend of mine owed me almost 1K USD, counting unfulfilled commissions in that, and promised me to pay me back last week, and ever since I'm running after her to even get a text back. Anyways, call out tomorrow because she's a member of the TS fandom and it's not the first time she's pulled that BS on people, and I won't let her scam more people. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So this is the call out post posted by Sunday, writing, call out, Toma is a scammer. TLDR, my now former friend, TS fandom member, and artist known as Toma, aka at Tomato Arts, owes me almost 1,000 USD and promised to pay me back only to ghost me. Turns out she lied about why she needed the money I gave her recently, and probably about other things, using her status as my friend and fellow fandom member to get money out of me and run with it. She also tried to scam her commissioners, me included, by making them pay for a commission and never delivering, but was called out in January for it. The thing is, honestly, it's like hard to snoop about this because their name is so generic, right? Like, because their name is Tomato Arts, if you look them up, you just get a bunch of tomatoes. But I will say this is always the slippery slope, and I'm not trying to victim blame, so don't get this twisted, but it's always such a slippery slope when you commission a friend, because you will have good intentions being like, oh, my friend might need some money, so let me go commission them. And then your friend, sometimes I've seen this happen and I've covered on my channel where they're like, oh, haha, we can use the friend status to try to manipulate some more stuff out of this poor person. And then unfortunately you end up with a situation like this. And Sunday continues, in this Google document, I detail the timeline and events that led to the current situation while also bringing receipts. Please do not harass any of the people mentioned by name or not, including Toma herself. Also, like, it's weird for me seeing like the TS fandom, but this is about a game called Touch Starved, and I've played the demo of the game. Oh my god, on a complete side note, the game's artwork is amazing, and I am fiending for when the full game drops. So this is the document in question. It reads, call out, Toma is a scammer. My now former friend and artist known as Toma owes me almost 1,000 USD and promised to pay me back only to ghost me. I didn't want to go to such lengths, but I fear that it's my only means to maybe see my money again and prevent further scamming. Again, please do not harass any of the people mentioned by name or not, including Toma herself. The explanations and timeline of events will be on this tab. The screenshots and receipts are on a separate tab to make it easier for people to read and follow through with the whole thing. Toma, also known as Tomato and other variations, is a 29-year-old woman and a digital artist who is part of a few fandoms, including Red Dead Redemption and Touch Starved. Original situation and debt. It all goes back to April 2nd, 2024. To support her as a friend and fellow artist, I did commission her and took 2 commissions, one of my OC Cheery and her OC Dimitri, and one of my Touch Starved main characters, Kaylin, and my friend's Touch Starved main character. I paid 165 USD and even tipped her an additional 15 USD on top of it, making 180 USD. I sent the payment via PayPal. All the transactions happen via PayPal for future references. She never delivered on these commissions. On June 14, 2024, during a private VC together, Toma told me about money struggles to which I can empathize. I offered to lend her money so she could afford groceries, as I had some savings on the side, and she agreed. The reason why I offered is because I struggled a few years back and had to ask for money from a friend, whom I paid back in full ever since. She asked for around 300 USD and I sent 300 euros by mistake, making it $309.05 USD. This brings the total to $489.05, all in USD. Guys, by the way, I just want to say, and I feel so bad for Sunday, and I'm not trying to blame Sunday at all, so don't put words in my mouth, but we get into this really tricky scenario. I always recommend only lend money that you're okay with not getting back, because typically what happens is if somebody needs money, it's because they don't have the money. So when you give them the money, they're going to take the money and spend it on whatever they need it for. But the thing is, they didn't make or earn more money. So what's going to happen is, let's say they needed $300 for groceries, which I would also say, like, asking for 300 USDs worth of groceries is kind of crazy. That is a lot of freaking groceries. Unless you're like a household of 5 and you need 1 month's worth of groceries. Like, I mean, I'm hella cheap. I can survive off of like $10 worth of groceries for a week. To be fair, I eat like absolute garbage, but white bread's cheap, and white bread and stuff on top goes a long way in pseudo sandwiches. But again, what I was saying is that, if they need $300 for groceries, they're going to have other bills to pay, like rent, car insurance, whatever. And if they're already in $300 worth of the hole, they need to earn an extra $300 to pay you back, and then everything else they need to make to cover their existing bills. So what's going to happen is, unfortunately, a lot of times you end up not getting paid back because they didn't earn more money. And it's not the person who lent the money's fault whatsoever. And this is the worst part because this always happens to the kind people, right? Sunday's out here being very empathetic, like, oh, like I understand, I empathize, I've been in places where I've struggled and needed money, so let me help you out. It always happens to the kindest people, and you end up getting taken advantage of. Even my cat isn't happy about this. But we continue. Not long after, on July 17th, 2024, Toma DM'd me in panic, telling me her car battery died. Problem: she urgently needed it to get to an important appointment to renew her green card. A new battery, according to her, would cost 250 USD that she didn't have. With the promise of being paid back and the alleged urgency, I did lend her an additional 250 USD. This brings the total to $639.05. Oh my god, this makes me so sad. Jeez, the green card stuff is so important. I have friends who either have green cards or are getting a green card and they're in the visa process. And God, getting a green card or like a visa in the US is crazy difficult. And I completely understand the immigration status scare of, oh shit, if I can't get here, I might not be able to renew it. And then I get deported back to my home country. And then holy crap, like I have to restart the process all over again. I've seen it happen. I completely understand. But for Toma though, I'm just saying, like, why is your first result when you've undergone this unfortunate scenario of your car battery dying? If it truly did happen, that absolutely sucks on the brink of an important appointment. But like, why was your first option to go to a friend to ask for 250 USD? Like, why not just, I don't know, take public transport to the appointment? If you live somewhere without public transport, Uber to your appointment. Ride share, ask a friend to drive you, ask a family member to drive you, bike over there, walk to the appointment. Maybe it's like a city away, public transport. I mean, for me, my empathy only goes so far. And if I feel like you are running to me to make me solve your problem, instead of you exhausting every resource yourself within yourself first to try to fix it, then it feels like you're getting used. And that is what's happening to Sunday here. And I feel so bad for Sunday because, again, it is always the kindest and most empathetic people that are like, oh, yeah, I want to help you out because I was there too. And then people will take advantage of you, which sucks. Sunday continues. First call out and scamming allegations. Fast forward January 8th, 2025. Since the last time, I barely heard from Toma, like most the people on Discord and even her own Discord server. That morning, I was made aware that a call out was being made on Toma via DMs before getting heavily trauma dumped on for emitting doubts on if it was really the only situation. The nature of the call out is about her lack of work and updates on her commissions. It seems many clients got their commissions unfulfilled, and despite trying to contact Toma for updates or a refund, they couldn't get her to message back, with a public call out being their only resort. The call-out was posted on January 7th, 2025. Ever since the last interaction from back in August 2024, most people, myself included, got ghosted by Toma. I do understand that she had her own issues IRL, but if she knew she would never get the work done, she should have refunded everybody on the get-go. I did help her handle the situation as I got dragged into it for no reason, and defended her at the time, giving her grace, as I knew her personal issues because she was my friend. It is important to note, for the sake of context, that the person who made the original call-out is friends with somebody who got banned for harassment from the TouchStarve fan server Toma created, and that person also participated in it. They made claims about the TouchStarve fan server being part of the scam, and they linked it in the post, which could have led to a wave of hatred against the innocent members of said server. It is literally just a chill place where people yap and share art and writing about TouchStarve and has nothing to do with Toma's actions and wrongdoings. Nor did the people there, including the other mods, deserve to be dragged into this mess. It was a shitty move done on purpose, linked to unrelated grudges against the TS fan server, which is mainly why I stood by Toma and helped her. It doesn't remove the fact that the situation is very concerning, and Toma should know better at her age and be more professional when it comes to commissions. Again, I genuinely believe the situation was a product of her alleged health issues mixed with harsh financial issues and her tendency to ghost people for the smallest thing with no malicious intent, and defended her while also pushing her to refund her clients. I should have been harsher on her at that moment. After this, she promised to pay me back quickly, but I advise her here to refund her clients first, as she should, that she can pay me back last. That is so kind. Sunday, no, my precious, I feel so bad. Sunday continues. Ever since this call out, the ownership of the TouchStar server changed. Toma is no longer the owner of the server. Current situation, which brings us to February 1st, 2025. Toma, who was and maybe is still living in the United States, decided to go back to her home country, Ukraine, as soon as possible. Seeing the situation at hand over there, I cannot blame her for wanting to do so. Then on February 17th, 2025, Toma asked me for 350 USD to pay for her plane ticket to Ukraine, knowing she already hasn't paid me back the rest, the total again being $639.05. I refused as I already lent her a lot of money and would need my savings for a surgery I'll be getting at the end of the month. Since that day, she tried to wear me down and was frequently in my DMs asking for it. I finally gave up on March 1st, 2025 and gave her the money the next day on March 2nd, as I was fed up with this and with the promise of being paid back almost right after using a so-called inheritance of 20,000 USD left in her name by a family member back in Ukraine. This brings the current total of debt to $989.05. Another important thing for context is that when back in summer 2024, people harassed me and other server members, she didn't stand up for anyone. Actions were only taken once I warned another mod, only banning one of the main instigators, before making the second instigator a moderator despite knowing what this person said and did to me. For months, I tried to push back into having this person removed from the mod team, and after months of this, I snapped and messaged her about it on March 2nd, 2025. Instead of taking accountability and doing anything about it, she passed the responsibility onto the new server owner who had nothing to do with this and made a half-assed apology. She would then ghost me from that point in time for the whole beginning of March 2025. I've been messaging her to try and get her to answer me and had to go as far as to let the mods of the TouchStarve server know about this. The new owner did message her at one point to push her to answer me back and also demoted her as a consequence of the situation. Toma is no longer a mod on that server. I had to go as far as calling her on that Ukrainian number she provided when she doxed herself to me and got no answers either. I suspect this number to be fake. I also made a PayPal payment request of 490 USD, almost half of the total amount owed. This was done on March 18th, 2025, as the moment of writing a few hours ago during the night as shown on receipts. On March 21st, 2025, despite a few more attempts at getting a reaction or message from Toma resulting in nothing, Toma changed her Discord profile picture and banner, proving that she turned her status to invisible and probably muted everyone's DMs and the fan TouchStarve server. Apparently, personalizing her Discord profile is more important than paying me back or giving me some explanations. Following a friend's advice, I threatened to report her to PayPal and have her account suspended if she doesn't answer me by March 23rd, before midnight. On March 22nd, 2025, after a lack of response, I sent her an email on both her email addresses that I know of, one using her real name, the other using her internet username that she also uses for commissions, sharing again the call-out post and my plans of reporting her to PayPal. Wait, there's more. As you can see, not only did she not pay me back, but she is still actively ghosting me ever since. With the current situation at hand, I suspect Toma lied about being able to pay me back, and that this inheritance of hers doesn't exist. I don't even know if what she told me so far is true, nor how the money she took from me and others was used. That said, I do have my suspicions. I did ask one of her clients she owed a refund to when Toma paid her back, and the answer was February 28, 2025. As you can see by the receipts, Toma became increasingly insistent on getting the money around February 27, 2025. My theory as of now is that she asked for money to be able to pay back at least one of the commissioners who asked for a refund. I did a bit of digging on her Blue Sky account, I'm not very active there, to find that she had the audacity to put her commission prices on November 8th, 2024, as she was actively ghosting at least 4 commissioners without counting me in and dropped their commissions. She also said in a post February 3rd, 2025 that she was trying to set up a VGen account. I would like to add that ever since I knew Toma, she always had Discord Nitro, which is a monthly subscription. Granted, it's not that pricey, but it's not a good look when you owe hundreds, if not thousands, to a bunch of people. Conclusion. At the time I'm writing these lines of March 18th, 2025, Toma is an excuse of a friend who treats people poorly on top of using them for money she uses for God knows what. I didn't want to make it public, nor believe a friend of mine whom I trusted and defended scam me out of half of my life savings. There is something inherently exploitative in the way she would fail me numerous times in hardship, mainly about the harassment, while using me to fight her battles and lend her money, and ghosted me once she doesn't need me anymore. She lied to me multiple times and tried to gaslight me, and lied to me even more during our last interaction on March 17th, 2025. The whole situation is wild as it is, and no one should take it publicly in hopes for Toma to break her silence and stop ghosting people she owes a lot of money to. I advise anyone reading this to never commission Toma in the future and spread this call out as much as possible. I encourage any wrong customer of Toma to come forward and also share their side of the story and be vocal about it. I don't know how many people she scammed with her commissions, nor how much she owes in total. I know of at least 4 people who are asking for a refund, and that she paid back one of them. There may be way more commissioners that she failed but didn't say anything and gave her the benefit of doubt just like I did. She abused people's trust and kindness to get her way into scamming fellow fandom members and a friend of hers. Toma is a liar and a scammer. So here we have the receipts. There's 30 pages of it. And between Toma and Sunday on Discord, and again, this is February 4th, 2024. So it's 2 flats with 2 characters each that Sunday confirms. And then Toma says it's $165. Sunday says it's okay. And then Sunday here confirms that they tipped an extra $15. So here, as you can see, Sunday sent $2 to test, and then they sent the rest of the money. And they added that, yeah, the money is going to be a little bit higher because of the conversion rate from euros over to USD. So here are the other transactions. $309 USD sent from Sunday to Toma. So here, this is July 14th, 2024. Toma says, hey, I got a little bit of a situation and I'm freaking out and I need some help. The battery in my car died and doesn't start. Without it, I can't drive tomorrow to the interview that is 5 hours away. The local shop has a replacement, but I lack the funds for it. I need 250 USD and I'll pay it back to you by the end of the week, plus the money that I already owe you. I'm sorry to ask of this. I just don't know what to do. Okay, this does make a little bit more sense if they need the car because it's 5 hours away, but like, I don't know, man. Like, to me, maybe I am too cynical. I feel like I'm pretty nice. I've lent money to people in the past, the knowledge that I'm probably not going to get it back. But like, if you already owe somebody money and then you go to them to ask for more money, I don't know, that feels some type of way. It could be a really unfortunate scenario where sucks your car battery died, but did you not have like a friend that you could ask to drive you? Or like maybe you could borrow somebody's car as a humongous favor, something like that, that doesn't involve asking the person you owe money to already. Hundreds of dollars, by the way, for another 250. So here's the proof. Sunday sent Toma 254 USD. So here, this is January 2nd, 2025. Toma says they're going back to Ukraine and that it feels safer. I think it's interesting. Here, Toma sending some art over to Sunday in Discord, being like, my latest art plan to make it into a V-word model. How do you send art to somebody that you owe artwork to? I misread the date earlier because they're in Europe, so the dates are reversed, but the payment was sent April 2nd, right? You're like a little bit under a year out of giving them the commission, and you're sending artwork to them. That is not the commission that you need to work on. So here, February 17th, Toma is stating, hey, are you around? Sorry to ask you for this. I'm about to buy a plane ticket and I'm 350 USD short. I'll give it back to you when I'm in Ukraine and have access to my inheritance. The ticket is for the 3rd of March, so on 4th to 5th is when I'm going to send it back, plus everything else that you helped me with. If not, that's okay. I'll try to find other solutions. And Sunday says, I'm very sorry I can't help you for that one. I'm pretty short in terms of savings and the rest of the money I have is for my student loans this month. Oh my God. Sunday says, and this is a couple days later on the 21st, hi Toma, just to tell you my student loan was taken and I'm waiting for my parents to pay me back. It should be soon so I could help you. Else I could wait for my next unemployment aid, but these bozos will take multiple days to give it to me. I can claim it on the 28th, but it's a Friday, so you know I'll get it on the next Tuesday at best. Did you find any other solution in the meantime? Sunday, no! Dude, my heart hurts for Sunday because they're so kind. They're like, trying to find every way possible to provide a solution for Toma. And like, what is Toma doing to make money? That's gonna sound really blunt, but dude, like you owe this person almost 700 USD at this point, and you're asking for another 350 USD. What are you doing? Are you opening like more Well, you didn't do Sunday's comms. Are you opening up more commissions? At this point, they're in the US. Are you doing Instacart, Uber Eats, working double shifts? Anything to pay people back? Like, I feel like it's a major lack of respect if you owe people a bunch of money and you do literally nothing in your power to work overtime to try to pay it back, right? To like show that you are very enthusiastic about giving the money back. All Toma looks to be doing is asking, and doing nothing in return. They're just being a leech. And here Sunday says, good luck with that. In the meantime, did you ask other people for help? Or is there anybody else that can help? Toma says, I found people who will take me to the airport as well as those who will be able to pick me up from Warsaw and drive me to Kiev. And then here they discuss life for a little bit. And then Toma says, I just need to get to Ukraine and I'll have access to a huge ass inheritance my grandma left me. Thanks, mom, for lying about it, LMAO. And they striked that one out and they say, I'll be able to pay you back for all the other things so you'll have extra cash as well. Also saying you'll have extra cash as well is cap, because what do you mean extra cash? It's not extra, it's shit that you owed Sunday. I'm gonna start crashing out, guys. This is very manipulative because this is exactly what scammers will say. Like, they will keep saying, oh, I almost have the money, or like, I'm about to get the inheritance, okay? And I bet you if Sunday didn't catch on and stop talking to them, you know, by the time they get to Ukraine, Sunday would be like, yo, what about the inheritance? And I bet you Toma's gonna be like, oh, something happened and like, I can't access the inheritance. Or like this other unfortunate situation came out. Or, oh, you know, like I was supposed to get the inheritance, but like a family member is scamming me. And because they're scamming me, I need to go back to the US. So can you pay for my plane ticket? Like there's always gonna be something that prevents them from accessing the money because they don't have the money in the first place. So Sunday asks how big the inheritance was. Toma says like 20K USD. And then they're talking about the inheritance. And then Toma says that the mom stole some out of the inheritance. And then Sunday says that's illegal. And Toma says, yeah, but it's whatever. As long as I get the rest, it's fine. I'd rather avoid the drama. Yeah, probably because there's no inheritance. And then here, Sunday says, well, if my parents pay me back the following week, I can send you the money. I'll update you on it. It was 350, correct? And Toma says, okay, thank you. And then on February 27th, they say, hey, dude. And then Toma says, my flight's on the 2nd, getting ready for that. Sunday says, I see. Did you get the remaining money? And Toma says, no, but it's okay. I'll figure it out later on. Ticket is already bought, so it's fine. And wait, okay, what I'm confused about is what do you mean ticket is bought? So you had the money to buy the ticket? Huh? So Toma says, yeah, it went through. I just have a negative account in my bank. So it's the bank I have to worry about, not the ticket. And they're discussing it again. Okay, I'm confused. Maybe banks in different countries work differently. I mean, it said Toma is apparently in the US and then is going to go back to Ukraine. I don't know where their bank account is located, but like from my understanding, the bank won't let you make a purchase if you're in the negative. Unless you write like a fraudulent check for more money than you have in the account, then you like use the check to purchase something and then the check will bounce later. But I'm just confused. Maybe because I'm privileged to where I've never had a negative amount in my bank account because I don't spend more money than I have. But also I'm privileged in that I've never been put in a position where I needed to try to like overextend the amount of money that I have. But for me with Toma, I can't be very sympathetic because this has happened way too many times. Either you're the unluckiest person in the world or you're shit with money. So here on March 1st, Toma is like, hey bud, any updates? And Sunday says, no, I don't have anything. It's 1 a.m. for me right now, but if you need it tomorrow, I can send you the money still. Is the bank being a bitch? And Toma says, yeah, they keep calling me. Yeah, of course they're calling you if you're committing fraud. What? And then Sunday says, oh yeah, I see. Okay, is it still $350 you need? And Toma says, yeah, I'll send it back to you between the 10th to 15th of March, most likely even sooner. You liar. I thought you said you could send it back by like March 5th. And then here they discuss a little bit and then Toma reveals something private. And then they say, also, I wanted to share something with you. I think I'm in love again. After my previous relationship, I thought it's not going to happen for years. So they discuss about that. Okay, guys, maybe I'm crazy and too cynical. I mean, you guys say I'm too optimistic, but did they really fall in love? Or is this a very opportune moment for them to share something personal? So for me, this reads very manipulative because they ask for a big stretch. They ask for money, right? That's a big ask, $350. But then they share something personal that they say, I haven't like told anyone else, this is just between you and me, to re-solidify the relationship of how special Sunday is to them, right? Being like, oh, like this is the unspoken, but you are special to me because I'm sharing this private info with you. So therefore, you won't feel used about me asking you for money. It's not like I'm using you as a bank account. You're just a trusted friend and I'm just somebody in need, To me, it feels manipulative because it feels like a strategic use of telling somebody something private. So here they discuss it and then Sunday says, hi, I sent you the money. Normally it's done. Just so you know, I don't know if this is the case before, but there's a few bucks of conversion fees now, it seems. Just so you know, you'll get these when you pay me back. Also, when you pay me back, tell me and do it chunk by chunk, or else PayPal can freeze the money over a few hundred, and I'd rather that not happen. But yeah, we'll organize once you can pay me back. And Toma says they got it. And Toma says, as long as you send it friends and family, it should be fine. There won't be any limit. By the way, I don't know whether they're referring to themselves paying Sunday back in friends and family, but if you pay in friends and family, you don't get purchase protection. So if Sunday were to pay Toma using friends and family, they're not going to get purchase protection and be able to charge back for that, from my understanding. So here, there's the proof that 354 USD was sent over to Toma. So here, Sunday is asking how Toma is, and then they're talking about the mod situation. And then Sunday is upset. Toma is kind of like half responding because they're going through TSA. And then Sunday's kind of sharing more feelings about it, etc. And they get ghosted. Kind of maybe understandable if Toma is legitimately on a plane, but then Toma just never responded again. March 11th, Sunday says, hi, I want to know when I'll get the money back because I'll need it soon. And then on March 12th, Sunday says, hey, so I'd like it if you answer me as quickly as possible and not ghost me when it's time to pay me back. I don't want to have to take the matter publicly to have a reaction out of you like others did. You promised to pay me back in the beginning of the month and then between the 10th and the 15th. I would also like you to at least update me on the matter. I don't know, basic respect. I will have a surgery soon and will also start HRT next month. I need my money back as soon as possible, please. If you can't pay me back just now, I get it, but ghosting me won't make the situation better. Toma says, hey, sorry for not responding, been busy. Still plan on sending you your money back in these few days. We'll have to send it in pieces because of limitations. I'm not leaving you hanging, especially for something as important as surgery. We'll see about that. And Sunday says, don't worry, I was mostly getting very anxious about the issue. Are you okay? Are you safe? Just update me when you do. Then 2 days later, on the 15th of March, Sunday says, hi, how are you? Today is the 15th. I was wondering if you could update me on when you could pay me back. A day later, Sunday says, hey, can you answer me? I'm supposed to be your friend. I don't know. That would be nice, especially with the amount of money involved. Toma says, hey, apologies, just got home. And this is on the 17th. And then Sunday says, finally. And Toma says, okay, so I'm going to send you 100 tomorrow and then every few days 100 till I pay you back. I'm sorry for going quiet. A lot is going on and my dad is not looking good. Again, maybe I'm cynical, but look at this. Conveniently, right when they have to pay Sunday back, something happens, right? This is how these scammers operate. There's always something that happens every time they need to pay you back. And it's always something to where like it's a bit sensitive. So you look like a dick if you call them out, like if Toma's dad is sick and you say, oh, you're lying about your dad being sick. And if you're wrong, you look like an asshole. But then, Toma seems to conveniently always have issues that needs money to where it's like, yo, again, either you're a super unlucky or you're a scammer. And Sunday, being frustrated, says, listen, I just want my money back at that point. I need more than just that. It's too vague. On which frequency will you pay me back? Every 2 days? Every 5? Toma says every 3 to 4 days. And Sunday writes, also, I want no excuses on how you ghosted me. It's not my business, nor do I care anymore at this point. You led me on and pressured me into giving you money by texting me about it every now and then. You took half of my life savings, Toma. I don't know if you understand that part. And Toma says, understandable. I mean, yes, I understand. Sunday says, you promised to pay me back in full by the 2nd or 3rd, and then by the 10th or 15th. Like, you can't make promises, especially not with that much money on the line, and not fulfill them. And Toma says, I'm really sorry. I will not be making any more promises, but deliver them. Sunday says, also, you said you had an inheritance of like 20K, so why can't you pay me in like 2/3 time? We agreed on doing it multiple times because of the risk of PayPal freezing my account just in case. So that part I understand, but the rest, it doesn't add up. And then Toma doxes themselves, dropping their current address in Ukraine and their phone number. And Sunday writes in the document, don't ask me why she doxed herself mid-conversation. It was late for me, so I didn't react on the spot, but that's a weird move if you ask me. By the way, again, what did I say earlier? This is a scammer MO, right? Where if you're kind of like feeling some type of way about them, they'll drop some personal information so that it would show as like a line of trust, to be like, oh, well, I'm not scamming you because I think of you as a friend. See, I trust you enough to give you this piece of information, like my address and phone number, which likely could be fake. It's probably, I don't know, some corner store in Ukraine or something. In response to Sunday asking, why can't you just send me money out of the 20K inheritance? Toma says there's limitations by Bank of Ukraine of how much money can be sent internationally. I didn't know about it. And Sunday says, oh wow, another BS excuse. What next? You can't send money internationally? Why didn't you tell me that as you got back into Ukraine? After you left the US and took my money, I had no updates, no news, no nothing. The whole first week of this month, nothing from you. You should have looked into it ASAP and told me ASAP. And then Toma says, look, I will send as much as I can tomorrow and then afterwards. And again, this is the thing. It's the absolute disrespect that Toma is showing because it seems like paying Sunday back is the last priority they have, right? Like picking a hangnail out of their toe is probably like a higher priority than sending Sunday their $1,000 back, okay? And that is so gross. It's disgusting to me, right? It's just a lack of respect. And then Sunday says, wait, but if you pay me back via PayPal, there shouldn't be issues with the bank as it'll be PayPal doing the international transaction for you. And Toma says, I am taking the money out of Ukraine. And Sunday says, I need a proof of the limitation for international transactions because I looked it up and that's what I found, but I don't know how reliable that AI overview is. I'll look deeper into this. You better not be lying. And the Google AI overview says that the Ukrainian bank monthly limit is about 4,000 USD for card-to-card transfers without proof of income. And Toma says, I was told by the bank the limit is 1,000 USD. And Sunday says, and you owe me 960 USD. Isn't that great? Toma says, I thought it was more than that. Okay then. And Sunday says, wait, sorry, it's 980 USD, but yeah, below 1K. Mistake the 8 for a 6 for a second, but you can look back in our convos to verify if needed. Toma says, yeah, it adds up. And Sunday is clarifying again, basically it's 300, 250 for the car battery, 185 for the commissions, and then 350. And then, about 19 hours later, Sunday says, hi, you were supposed to send me some of the money today. I was wondering when I would get it. Then 30 minutes later, Sunday says, I'm warning you. I'm sick and tired of having to run after you and message you every now and then for this issue. And I won't be staying up till 3 a.m. and F my sleep schedule for this. You had all day to do that. And it's unacceptable that I didn't even get a single message about when you could pay me back today, as in a time you were available for that, or update me on the situation. You seem only available around 3 to 5 a.m. though, so I'll give you grace. You have until 5 a.m. to pay me back. If I don't get the money you promised me, then I'll be publicly calling you out. No need to hide or delete anything, I already have everything screenshotted. I didn't want to get to this extent, but it seems only being harsh and confrontational works with you to get even the smallest reaction or a smidge of respect, and even less to try and get my money back. You are a grown-ass woman and you should be able to pay me back as agreed without having me to gentle parent you or confront you into doing it. This is beyond irresponsible and disrespectful. You had plenty of extra time and I've been way too nice and patient with you. Then they say, 1 hour left, you better hurry. Sunday calls, Toma, gets ignored, and Sunday says 30 minutes left. By the way, I tried to call you and you didn't pick up. I shouldn't even have to in the first place. Stop actively ignoring me and give me back my money. You have 13 minutes left, less than 5 minutes left. I made a PayPal request since you can't do it on your own. You better send the money. And the time is up, you still owe me, but the call out is on the table, it seems. You can ignore me as much as you want. You still owe me money and I won't let you get away with this easily. Give me my money back. And then Sunday redid the math and found out that there was $9 extra they didn't account for, bringing the total to $989.05 USD. And then Sunday linked the call out. Then on March 19th, Sunday says, hi, will you answer me today or pretend to not be online again for the next 24 hours? The more you do this, the angrier I get, which is valid. I made a second PayPal payment request yesterday to complete the first one. You better pay them before my surgery. Then March 21st, I saw you change your profile photo and banner. You're not slick. If you got time for that, surely you can answer me and take accountability for your lies. You must think I'm stupid enough to not notice you personalized your account. I knew you were simply pretending to be offline. Thanks for the additional receipts though. I'm feeling generous, so I give you until this weekend to answer me. If you're in Ukraine and it's not one of your lies, you are 1 hour ahead of me. You have until Sunday, March 23rd, midnight my time, so 11 p.m. to you, to answer me and pay me back at least partially. If by then I have nothing from you still, you can say goodbye to your PayPal account, along with all the money you stole on it. I'm sure I can get your wrong commissioners to help me report you on that one, along with some of my friends. And then additional receipts, the announcement Toma made on the Touchstar fan server after people became aware of the call out in January. Age like milk. This was posted January 8th, 2025, where Toma says, hi everyone. So there's a post on Tumblr made about me accusing me of being a scammer, made by a former member. I will not be saying names or posting links. If you want to find it or read it, come to my DMs. I'll provide you both with screenshots and links. And I want to make something clear. Almost everything that was written in that post is true. That person ordered a commission from me and I did not deliver for months. I'll be brutally honest and be the first to admit that communication on my part was severely lacking. I had very big IRL issues that some of you are aware of, but I don't want to go into details because those are just excuses. But I will take accountability for my actions and will refund their commission as well as a few others. I'm sorry for what I did. It's no one's fault but mine. And the reason why I'm even making this announcement is because I want to be transparent with you guys. Because as much as I am not active, you all who are active here have become close to one another and do not deserve to be called a scam server. The server was also accused of being private, implying that I did it on purpose to avoid accountability. That is not true. Links to the server are publicly available on Twitter and Discord. Even now, I see people joining from those invite links. So I am making a decision to step down from being an admin of this server. I'm going to give the ownership to somebody else in current mod role. I will stay as a member if that's all right with you. Again, I'm very sorry for how I behaved. And then this is Toma's Blue Sky, where you can see November 8th, 2024, they added their commission price list. And here, February 3rd, 2025, they're looking into setting up VGen. And this is Sunday's email over to Toma, March 22nd, 2025. Reading, hi Toma, it seems like you have muted me and or the server on Discord, though I am unsure. I saw you update your profile photo and banner on Discord, proving that you are pretending to be offline. So I'm sending you here the call out I made about you and how you scammed me out of 1,000 USD, that I'm giving you a chance to text me back and pay me until tomorrow midnight my time. If I have no answers after that time, I will report your PayPal account with friends of mine and make sure your PayPal account gets suspended. Here's the call out. This is your final warning. Give me my money back. And then here's what some commenters have to say. So T.S. Rose writes, this is very concerning. It's the second time I'm seeing a commission scammer post in this community linked to a touch-starved Discord with drama, and we are not even a big crowd yet compared to other fandoms. I can't find the other post in my history search, but I remember OP had been refunded at least after giving warnings. Is there a way you can contact your bank to forward back the money? Is PayPal even helping you? Sunday responds, I think the other post was about her too. If it's the same post I'm thinking about, the OP was full of shit as they claimed the server itself was part of the scam, as stated in my doc, which wasn't true and they knew it. It could have endangered the innocent server members and fellow fandom members. That said, all the rest was legitimate and valid. I'm glad they got a refund though. Even if I have my opinions on them, they don't deserve to get scammed like that. As for PayPal and all, most of the money is money I lent as friends and family, and for her commissions, Toma uses only the friends and family type of transaction, so there's nothing I can do. By the way, If an artist that you commission wants you to pay them in friends and family, they're scamming you, okay? Goods and services does have the extra little fee, but it's to protect you. Sunday continues. For now, she's still ghosting me and everyone else, and I think she won't come back anytime soon. It was the same for all the other victims as well, hence why they pressured Toma by speaking out publicly. I did take a look at laws and all, but the legal fees would by far exceed the money she stole from me, so it isn't worth a shot to take legal action. Thank you for the concern, info, and tips though. It shows you care and I appreciate it. Stay safe. And I mean, on Toma's page, they haven't posted about it from what I've seen. Again, I'm kind of boomer in terms of using Tumblr because the last time I really used it, I was like 13. But Toma writes, crying is my default state. Life recently has been hell. Boyfriend broke up with me, my 13-year-old cousin died because of cancer, and there was barely any chance of saving her because the hospital she was in only gets 4 hours of guaranteed power per day. My family is in Ukraine. My constant financial problems make it hard to pay for meds and rents. LMAO, I have negative 20 USD in my bank account. It's been so bad, I was considering the worst option, but I am still here. Just want to be okay for at least one day. And I mean, on their Blue Sky, they've posted about commissions up until about 2 months ago, and they've just kind of been offline since. But man, it feels bad if like somebody owes you commissions and a fuck ton of money, you see them do absolutely nothing in their power to try to fix it, and then they're also posting like comms they've done other people, but they never did yours, even though it's been over a year. On one hand, I want to be empathetic and be like, man, if you're going through stuff, like, I'm sorry. But at the other hand, like, you owe somebody $1,000, okay? And if I don't see you working double shifts, hustling, driving Uber on the side or Lyft on the side or Instacart on the side to try to make all the money to pay this person back, I don't have respect for you. That's just me. At the end of the day, don't send hate to any parties involved. This is just to bring more awareness because Toma's original post didn't get very much traction. So this is hopefully to at least bring more awareness to it because Sunday's original post about this didn't get that much traction. So yeah, it's such an unfortunate state, and it looks to, at least as of now, Sunday unfortunately hasn't received the money back yet because Toma looks to be very adamant in ghosting them. So that absolutely sucks. Being at 1K because you were trying to be a nice friend to help your friend through their struggles and what they were going through. Awful. I don't want to hear y'all blaming Sunday either. We don't victim blame here, but I also really empathize because I actually went through something really similar with a friend where I lent them $1,000. I got it back, but after harassing them like day after day after day to get them to send me the money back. So I've been there, which is why I empathize so much because you just want to be nice, man. You just want to help people out. And then it's always the nice people that get burned. And then now I don't like, you don't want to lend money anymore because you're like, well, this person screwed me over. So anyways, send love to Sunday. I'll have them linked down below. Hopefully Toma can lock the fuck in and pay him back. Otherwise, man, I don't know. If you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Also, I actually set up a VGen. So go check me out on there. I'll link it down below. I'm not really a big fan of Etsy anymore. I still have my stuff on there, but the fees, the AI slop on there. Ugh. So hopefully, you know, I have VGen. They have this new shop feature, so I'm testing it out. So yeah, I hope I can see you guys there. And also on my Coffee as well, I have free resources if you're a streamer, a content creator. If you want to learn how to make money through streaming and getting sponsorships, I have a free sponsorship guide because I believe in financial transparency, okay, and not gatekeeping this information. I want you to make money, so I want to gatekeep that. So yeah, and I also stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. PST. So I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of my videos. Peace.